Hi, I'm Nick with Dorman Products, here today to talk to you about our OE Fix oil filter housing for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. If you're an auto repair professional, you're likely familiar with the Achilles heel on the 3.2 liter or 3.6 liter Pentastar engine from Chrysler, the oil filter adapter. When you've got a customer who needs a replacement for a leaking failed unit, the Dorman OE Fix housing is really the only one you should consider. OEM pattern parts and knockoffs of our patented OE Fix unit need not apply. Look at how our unit is built and how the competition stacks up. First and most obvious, our part is aluminum, not plastic. Aluminum, having a significantly higher melting point than most polymers, doesn't weaken like plastic does in testing. Constant heat cycling doesn't affect aluminum, whereas plastic eventually gets very brittle and breaks. And of course, aluminum's ability to better dissipate heat is an added benefit. This part is a permanent replacement. Anything plastic is on a countdown to the next failure. One issue regarding the plastic construction involves plastic welding, the way plastic pieces are joined on both the OEM unit and some of the competitors. The competition just uses friction to hopefully melt some plastic and get their polymer plugs and caps to seal up. Keep looking at those plastic parts and you'll also find plastic welding on the oil channel cover within. Failed welds here leak as well. Polymer housings are also plastic welded in both this area and the plugs we just discussed. They're just like the one that came on the vehicle and is probably leaking now. Since we use aluminum construction, we install tapered threaded steel plugs into our upgraded aluminum housing. And the oil channel, we eliminated the plastic weld and seams entirely. And for the threaded parts like the sensors that do need to be removed in the future, plastic OEM style housings use molded inserts that rely on more melted plastic to retain them. Too much torque on something like a coolant temperature sensor causes a leak, and these units are not very forgiving. Our all-metal design allows for strong threads to be machined right into the housing itself. That means a lot more support for the parts that need to be snug to seal up. And to be sure, our engineering team performed heat age testing at our headquarters in Colmar, Pennsylvania, and found all plastic units had reduced ability to accept torque. 15 foot-pounds is the OEM specification for the sensors on the unit. The OEM held in much better than the aftermarket units, accepting 30 foot-pounds. Dorman's aluminum unit hung in there for a whopping 58 foot-pounds before and after the heat age testing. The plastic competition, their brass inserts pulled out after heat testing at such low specs that our torque wrench wouldn't even register a value. This means that it's perfectly plausible that an unrelated repair, like replacing an oil pressure sensor threaded into one of these OEM patterned plastic parts, will cause a leak. It should be clear that plastic is not the ideal material for this housing, but you may also come across other aluminum housings on the market that try to imitate our design, and many even infringe on our patents. This metal copycat, for instance, solves that plug problem with metal plugs like ours, but introduces another issue that's far more serious. Our filter adapter's aluminum is cast at high pressures. When that process is complete, we deburr any flash and swarf with a high pressure water jet, which also carries away any foreign material. After that, the housings are tumbled in a washing solution to carry away any debris that remains. The aluminum knockoff, however, is sand cast at normal atmospheric pressures and appears to get just a cursory rinse. Sand remains trapped in here, which obviously is severely detrimental to the health and longevity of any engine. And of course, sand used in low pressure type casting can also cause porosity in gasketed surfaces, which can also invite leaks. Dorman engineered seals, O-rings, and gaskets meet or exceed specifications, and all of those pieces you need, including new mounting hardware, are in the box, making the installation a snap. We also include a new oil filter and cap, which you need to complete this job. The reason we don't have tons of part numbers like the competition is because we upgrade every Pentastar to the latest oil filter design that relocates the bypass valve on early Pentastars that failed in service. You likely know about those because we fixed those too with our OE Fix bypass replacement valve. You'll also find instructions in the box created by ASE certified technicians, so we've got your back. We hope you like this new solution, and remember, if you need anything at all, the Dorman technical support team is always available to help. They're ASE certified too and well versed in the installation of this oil filter housing in case your installation goes awry. Another reason to choose a genuine Dorman oil filter housing for the Pentastar you're working on. Thanks for checking out our video on this oil filter housing kit. I'm Nick, and I'll see you next time.